Will Animal Crossing cost $80? $80 games are a hot topic right now because everyone is incredibly upset, and rightfully so. Ever since the Switch 2 Direct, when we were all blasted with the fact that the new Mario Kart game is going to be $80, most of us have been crying into our wallets, hoping those tears turn into money so we can afford both living and playing video games. In an interview with the Nintendo of America president Doug Bowser, it was stated that Nintendo is changing up their pricing model and will be adopting more of a variable pricing method instead of charging every game at a base $60. But that means that some games will be more expensive and hopefully some games will be cheaper. We recently first saw Nintendo up the price of their games with the release of Tears of the Kingdom, which sold for $70. The company came out and gave reasonings for why they had to upcharge the new Zelda game. I'm pretty sure before people started complaining, I think they were trying to get in front of it. They were very forthcoming with their reasonings and talking about the extra work that had to go into the game to get the physics and new mechanics to work correctly. I can only speak for myself, of course, but once I started playing Tears of the Kingdom, I immediately understood why Nintendo would have to throw some extra work into the development of this game. The fact that all of these pieces can connect together pretty seamlessly without any game-breaking bugs is a miracle. I get the $70. But even I was blown away when a Mario Kart game, a game that you just press A to go, I know it's more than that, but I mean you just press A to go, would surpass the development time and effort of Tears of the Kingdom. And even after watching the Mario Kart Direct, many of us aren't convinced that this game is worth $80. Sure, there's an open world and there's a couple of little secrets that you can play along in the open world, but that's it. There could be a bunch of stuff that we aren't privy to yet, more secrets or mechanics that we haven't seen that would justify the higher price. But it's kind of seeming like just a greedy take by a business to make more money. Doug Bowser did talk about pricing a game based on how many hours you can throw into it. Which, it does make sense. We should pay less for a game that can be beaten in 5 hours versus one that we throw hundreds of hours into. So does that mean Nintendo will only charge $15 or $30 for the next Kirby or Yoshi game? Probably not. I'm sure those will still be $60. But if Nintendo is charging extra for Mario Kart because they're going to be updating it for a while and keeping the game fresh, then yeah, maybe it is worth the extra money, especially because it will add the potential for more hours of gameplay for us. I mean, look at the new Donkey Kong game. It looks just as good as Mario Kart with unique mechanics like destroying the entire map, and it's only $70. But where's the line? It does seem like there was a bunch of development that went into Donkey Kong too. What decides the extra cost? It seems like it's really hard to pinpoint an exact criteria, unless it's just amount of gameplay. We all know we're going to eventually get a new Animal Crossing game. New Horizons was the second best-selling game on the Switch 1, which basically means we're guaranteed a new game at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later. We can be patient, maybe. So will the new Animal Crossing game be $80? If it follows the variable pricing of more gameplay equals more money, then yeah, I can absolutely see this game being priced at the $80 mark. As you probably know if you're watching this video, Animal Crossing never technically ends. You can play this game until the end of time. Well, I guess until whatever arbitrary date the developers have limited the game's scope to. New Horizons will stop working in 2060. But you can always just change the console's date to something earlier if you find yourself still playing this game in 40 years. New Horizons has been out for 5 years, and I am still dropping hours into this game. There's an endless number of tasks that you can do. Villager hunting, decorating, Nook Mile goal completion, I know you haven't done that yet. Redecorating, item collecting, and redecorating, just to name a few. Long story short, you can still load up the same save file from 5 years ago and continue your gameplay experience. It's not like some game with a linear storyline where you would be repeating the same exact gameplay you had already done in the past. Same story, same characters, same everything. On top of that, if Nintendo keeps a similar strategy to New Horizons, the new game will probably have some sort of update schedule over a year or two. Both of these criteria are similar reasons as to why Nintendo priced Mario Kart as a premium $80 game. Well, except the update part. I guess they never really confirmed if Mario Kart World is getting any kind of update schedule, but I think most of us are assuming that it probably will. And at $80, it frickin' better. But both games do have an almost never-ending gameplay. There's a lot that goes into Animal Crossing. Hundreds of villager models, thousands of furniture items, countless pages of dialogue and text that has to be physically typed into the game. There are so many tedious tasks for the developers of Animal Crossing. I believe Nintendo will most likely see this as a premium experience and therefore charge a premium price. However, I can also argue that there are plenty of reasons to not charge $80 for a new Animal Crossing game. First, Animal Crossing isn't a gamer's game. It's a cute, wholesome coziness that is definitely geared towards a more casual gamer. It's an easier, more simple experience, even though there's still a lot to do in Animal Crossing that can be enjoyed by pretty much anyone regardless of their previous gaming experience. But the strategy of marketing this game to a specific audience will most likely concentrate on that casual gamer who isn't used to dropping a ton of money on a bunch of games throughout the year or even just on a console in general. For many of these people, Animal Crossing might be one of the few, if not the only game to have on the system. Would someone like that be willing to pay $80? An extra $20 that they aren't used to from a previous installment in the series? The higher price tag might scare the more casual player away. If I wasn't really into gaming and only played occasionally, I don't know if I'd bother with the premium price. I'd definitely consider skipping out. Hell, I'm an avid gamer and I'm obsessed with the Switch 2, and I still considered taking a back seat for Mario Kart. But with New Horizons being the second best-selling game on the Switch 1, well, that's a lot of copies of a game to get an extra $20 for. It's practically a gold mine. Any greedy businessman would make the decision to upcharge for Animal Crossing, which I think is pretty much where Nintendo's brain will go. Animal Crossing is I keep using the word premium, but it is a premium experience. There's a lot of development that goes into creating the game. You can play it forever, and it will most likely have an update schedule. There's just so many reasons to charge $80 for this game. That doesn't mean that I like the more expensive price or that I think Animal Crossing should cost that much. I would obviously much rather pay $60, but it's Animal Crossing. I'm gonna buy it regardless, and they know this. Does paying $80 for games make sense? Realistically, this could be its own video. Nintendo has their reasons for charging the high price, but do those reasons actually justify that price? I guess that's kind of up to the player. But I'm at least glad we're getting some kind of explanation and thought process for why we have to shell out extra $20 for each game that we want to play. Some will still be $70 and hopefully $60, $40, $20? Probably not 20. I'm just gonna throw it out there that I paid $15 for Stardew Valley and I am still having a great time with that game, 8 years later? Granted, that was a one-person dev team at the beginning, but it is a great example of why games don't have to cost a ridiculous amount of money. But I guess the more expensive the games are, hopefully, the more game devs have jobs. Especially in a time where the career is so unstable, people are getting laid off left and right. I will pay a little extra if it means we get some really cool games by some really cool people in the future. I just want the games to be worth the $80. I know we've been paying $60 for 30 years, inflation exists, stuff's expensive, blah, 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 blah. But don't keep the same mediocre quality and expect consumers to pay more. Make it worth it, please. That's my only request. Put extra effort into this $80. Anyway, this video was basically to make me mentally prepare for an $80 Animal Crossing and probably other large Nintendo IPs like Zelda's, the Marios, Splatoon, Animal Crossings, all of them. What are your thoughts on $80 Animal Crossing or just $80 games? Let me know down below. Subscribe or Animal Crossing New Space will cost $100, and I'll see you next time. Bye!